All right, so today we're diving into a really fascinating idea. This concept that your financial reality, what's in your bank account, is basically a mirror reflecting your internal energy. We're going to explore how to tune into what the source calls the frequency of self-trust to actually manifest wealth. And the kicker is, it's not about some new strategy, but all about conscious choice.
Let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You are doing all the right things. You're following the guru's advice, you're putting in the long hours, you're building all the systems, but the needle just isn't moving. It feels like you're pushing a giant boulder uphill, and you're just wondering, what am I missing? What's the secret piece I don't have?
Well, according to the source material we're looking at today, the problem isn't what you're doing. It's not the strategy. It's the energy behind what you're doing. There's this invisible static, this dissonance, that's scrambling your signal and pretty much canceling out all your best efforts. Your strategy could be absolutely perfect, but the frequency you're broadcasting from is all fuzzy.
Okay, so let's get into the first big idea here, which is identifying where the real leak is. And no, it's not your monthly expenses or a bad investment. It's something way more subtle. It's the high cost of always acting from a place of, I should do this.
This is what the source calls fragmented energy. Just think about it. Every single time you say yes, when you really mean no, or you do some task because you feel you have to, not because you choose to, you're literally splitting your energy. You're sending out this powerful subconscious signal that you're not in charge, that you're a victim of your own to-do list. And that fragmented, messy signal, that dissonance, that's the crack where your wealth is leaking out.
So this brings us to this kind of core battle that's going on inside us. It's a tug of war between two frequencies you can broadcast from at any given moment. Coherence, which actually builds your reality, and fragmentation, which, well, it tears it down. Now, what I love about this is how clearly it lays out the two paths, right? Over on the left, you've got that fragmented energy. It's born from acting out of should, and that requires force. You're just grinding, trying to survive. This creates that dissonance we talked about, and it actively pushes away the very things you're working so hard for. But then, on the right, you have quantum coherence. This comes from acting from pure, unadulterated choice. And that's not force, that's power, the energy of real creation. It leads to alignment, and that alignment becomes magnetic. It starts attracting what you desire.
So the goal state, the place we want to get to, is what's being called quantum coherence. It's that state where there's zero inner conflict. Your thoughts about what you want, your emotions about deserving it, and your actions to get it are all, well, they're all singing the same song, in perfect harmony. It's a clean, crystal clear signal. And according to this source, abundance is simply drawn to that kind of clarity.
And boom, this quote just nails the whole concept. Think about that for a second. Your bank account isn't reflecting the work you did yesterday. It's a delayed reflection, a report card really, on the energetic alignment or the lack of it that you've been consistently putting out there. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how in the world do you actually do it? Well, according to the source, it's not about a new habit. It requires a fundamental shift in your identity, moving from the mindset of a worker bee to that of a sovereign, a conscious creator.
This table just breaks down that shift so perfectly. The worker bee lives on a horizontal linear timeline. If I just work hard for long enough, eventually I'll get the reward. Their whole focus is on the hustle, the doing. But the sovereign, they operate on a vertical timeline. They decide the reality they want, and then they embody the frequency of that reality right now. Their focus is on their state of being, because they know that the right doing just flows naturally from that. The whole motive shifts from obligation to pure, unconflicted choice.
And that's really the absolute key takeaway here. You could be doing the exact same tasks in your business today as you did yesterday, but doing them from a place of resentful obligation feels and is completely different from doing them from a place of empowered, conscious choice. The actions might look identical on the outside, but the energetic results are worlds apart.
So let's connect this right back to that frustration we started with. Why is your supposedly million-dollar strategy getting you absolutely nowhere? This next part explains exactly how your mindset, your frequency, and your bottom line are all tangled up together.
Just picture it. The best, most proven business strategy you can imagine. The perfect plan, practically guaranteed to generate 6 figures. It seems foolproof, doesn't it? Well, the source makes a very bold and kind of shocking claim about it.
It will fail. It will fall completely flat if the person executing it is operating from what the source calls a beggar frequency, an energy of desperation, of neediness, of, oh, please, please let this work. Why?
because that energy actively repels the very clients and opportunities the strategy was designed to attract in the first place. It really is the difference between a desperate plea and a magnetic command. I mean, when you set your prices or when you make an offer to a client, are you pleading with them to say yes? Or are you confidently stating the value you provide, take it or leave it? That shift from pleading to commanding comes from what the source calls regulated authority. And what that really means is it comes from your own nervous system feeling fundamentally safe and secure in your own power and in your own choices.
So this all leads to a really powerful conclusion. Shifting from that desperate plea to a magnetic command, it isn't about learning a new sales tactic. It's about a final, powerful choice you have to make about how you want to show up and lead yourself.
So I want you to really just sit with this question for a second. Seriously, forget what you think you should do. Forget about pleasing other people or following the playbook. If you could totally remove the fear of making a mistake, of being judged as bad or wrong, what would your gut, your intuition, your genuine desire choose to do next in your business?
That thing, whatever just popped into your head. That's it. That's the answer. The source argues that whatever came to you in that moment of pure, fearless choice, that is your most direct, most aligned, and most powerful path to creating the wealth that you say you want. That's the path of quantum coherence.
And this requires us to totally reframe a word that we often dread, responsibility. It's not this heavy burden of obligations you have to carry. In this context, taking responsibility for your choices is the ultimate act of power. It is the highest expression of your personal agency, your ability to literally create your own reality.
So the final thought here is this: wealth follows the leader. If you aren't leading yourself with conscious, aligned choices, money simply won't follow. It can't. Your choices are the paintbrush and your reality is the canvas. The only question left is, are you ready to own them?